There are many marginalized and vulnerable communities in India that need individuals, organizations and public systems to partner with them in a sustained manner to break the poverty cycle and create opportunities for growth. Gowravam Foundation is a non-profit, non-governmental organization established in 2015 with focus on promoting, restoring dignity and hope to human life, especially among the poor and the underprivileged. Based in Hyderabad, the capital city of Telangana state, GF's mission is to invest in human, natural and creative potential, serving as thoughtful stewards and catalysts. Driven by values of social justice, impactful interventions to alleviate poverty and socio-economic empowerment, GF implements various programs to achieve its mission of transforming the less privileged communities, improve their education and earning potential, and lead healthier, happier lives. Working on issues directly at the community level or in strategic partnership with governments, other non-profit entities and business leadership, Gowravam Foundation's initiatives revolve around improving access to quality education, health, nutrition, skills and employment opportunities for the disadvantaged poor. In this regard, the Foundation mentors and supports Zilla Parishad and government schools for improvement of physical infrastructure, setting up of computer labs and digital classrooms, expanding library and sports facilities, and providing scholarships to meritorious students. GF has also embarked on infrastructure improvement in government hospitals and has facilitated construction of over 600 toilets, bathrooms, etc. Besides, Gowravam Foundation undertakes relief activities during natural disasters, calamities and pandemic situations. At Hyderabad, like in the rest of the country, the COVID-19 lockdown on March 24, 2020 was sudden, severe and absolute. The people vanished from the streets. The roads were deserted. Tens of thousands of people suddenly found themselves without wages and no jobs. Most of them were daily wage earners, migrant workers from far-off Jharkhand, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Assam, Rajasthan and several other states in the country. With their meager savings having dried up, they were stranded without work, could barely afford rent or even food, and unable to return to their hometown due to lockdown and lack of transportation of any kind. The Telangana state government provided food grains, etc. to help daily wage earners and the BPL, below poverty line households, to cope up with the lockdown and set up shelter homes for them through NGOs in community halls, stadiums, government schools, etc. Gowravam Foundation, with its primary objective of restoring dignity and hope to human life, undertook COVID-19 relief activities. It mobilized support in cash, kind and volunteer services and initially reached out to men, women and children housed in shelter homes managed by Hyderabad Municipal Corporation and Aman Vedika Trust.
Gowravam Foundation started working in the context of COVID-19 and the lockdown restrictions. Initially, it started working on providing personal protection equipment and items like masks and gloves and sanitizers, soaps, etc. to migrant labor and to homeless people who have been put in temporary shelters. We also provided clothing and other material to make their life comfortable in the temporary shelters.
With police help, Wholesale shops were opened for bulk purchase of clothing material. The Department of Posts provided mail vans for transportation of material to the shelter homes. Within 2 weeks, GF team covered 9 shelter homes and distributed basic necessity items to 2,501 migrant labor, orphan children, homeless persons and beggars. When the government extended the lockdown period in its bid to contain the spread of the virus, the anxiety levels for the poor migrant workers and their families living in their makeshift dwellings shot up hugely. They could barely afford food and were in dire need of rations.
As the lockdown got extended and there were a lot of other migrant labor, especially working in construction industry, in brick kilns, in food industry, in restaurants and hotels which have actually closed due to lockdown, and also doing a lot of street vending and small things like even pani puri and such other activities. Suddenly we noticed that many of them were actually very anxious about not being able to feed their families, and a whole lot of reports that we were reading and on the television when we were seeing so many of them, we felt compelled to reach out to them in whichever way possible, and that's how the idea of Gowravam Foundation grocery bags came. To support a family of 4 to 5 members for at least 10 to 12 days, we prepared 22 kgs worth of material, including 10 kgs of rice, 5 kgs of atta, 3 kgs of dal and 2 liters of oil and condiments and other items. And we distributed them across various construction sites, brick kiln sites, even in paper industry where the management were not really taking care of them, in various industrial areas, also in certain slum settlements where these migrant labor were living.
Gowravam Foundation team took up packing and distribution of grocery bags with dry rations to 2,000 migrant labor families at 1,000 rupees per bag. That would last for about 10 to 15 days. It was heartwarming to see like-minded friends, family and colleagues from Department of Posts volunteering to participate in the activities. Maintaining all the social distance norms, the team systematically packed the grocery items. Area-wise lists of migrant workers and needy families with details were obtained through government agencies, network of NGOs, activists and volunteers. The numbers of needy people were staggering. Once the lists were cross-verified to identify genuine beneficiaries, the GF volunteers took up distribution activity by traveling long distances with loaded mail vans to distribute grocery bags at labor camps, on construction sites, bastis, small settlement areas, leprosy colony, localities where transgenders lived and such other places. The grocery bags came as a blessing to ward off immediate hunger and anxiety.
గౌరవం ఫౌండేషన్ ద్వారా మాకు రేషన్ అందిందమ్మా. మాకు ఇక్కడ మాకు ఏం లేదు, రేషన్ కార్డు లేదమ్మా. మాకు పని చేసుకుంటేనే, మాకు కష్టపడితేనే కూలమ్మ, మాకు లేకపోతే ఏం లేదు. మేము ఉలిసే వాళ్ళని. అతను గిరిబాబు, నా పేరు జ్యోతి అమ్మ. మాకు ఆ రేషన్ అందినందుకు చాలా సంతోషంగా ఉందమ్మా.
मैं झारखंड से है सर. हमारे इधर सेरलापल्ली हैदराबाद काम करने के लिए इधर कोई मेरे को साथ नहीं दिया। गौरव फाउंडेशन हमको उधर से चावल दिया।
Within a period of 4 weeks, GF team had distributed grocery bags to 2,140 migrant labor families and daily wage earners, covering about 8,224 persons in 73 locations in 4 districts. On May 6th, when the Telangana government further extended the lockdown for the 3rd time to May 29th, panic grew among the migrants. Uncertainty about the future looming large, and with no work and income, no public transport, they became desperate to go home in any which way possible. Walking, bicycling hundreds of kilometers, hitchhiking, crammed into trucks and buses. Moved by their plight, we at GF came up with a new initiative, providing journey food packs as a sustenance to the homeward-bound migrant labor. Gowravam Foundation Chairman's villa at Namaha Lakewood was turned into a packing center. Namaha community members responded with tremendous commitment and volunteered to prepare the journey food packs comprising of items that would last at least for 2 journey days. A team of volunteers boiled eggs starting at 4 a.m. in the morning. Relentlessly, the other team members began packing from 10 a.m. onwards. And by 3 p.m., the journey food packs were ready to be loaded onto a mail van and cars, all done in clockwise precision. Each day, 1,000 to 2,500 journey food packs were distributed to migrant workers traveling in the hot sun and late nights on national highways, critical road junctions, police stations, railway stations, at locations where they patiently waited for information or to catch a truck, bus or train. On 23rd May 2020, about 6,500 journey food packets were packed and distributed at Secunderabad railway station to migrant workers travelling by 7 trains. Within 4 weeks, the GF team had distributed journey food packs to 40,742 migrant workers and families travelling by over 100 trucks, 60 buses, 7 trains, or walking non-stop to their homes on the highways. For the homebound foot soldiers and the weary travellers, the journey food packs came as a welcome relief. The selection and the nutritious content of the packed items were much appreciated.
ఇక్కడ తహసీల్దార్ గారు, మున్సిపల్ కమిషనరు, మున్సిపల్ చైర్మన్ మరియు పత్రికా మిత్రులు అందరూ కూడా అందరం చూస్తున్నాం. ఇంత మంచి ప్యాక్ ఈ సందర్భంగా మేము వాస్తవంగా చూడలేదు. చాలా న్యూట్రిషియస్ ఫుడ్, చాలా బాగుంది. ప్రతిరోజు ఇట్లా ఈ వలస కార్మికులకు ఇవ్వడం చాలా అభినందించదగ్గ విషయం.
तो यहाँ पे खाने पीने का बहुत सारे सुविधा थे और मतलब सारे लोग पानी पिला रहे थे, खाना खिला रहे थे और फूड का पैकेट दे रहे थे, जो कि बहुत अच्छा मोमेंट लगा मुझे और जिस पैशन से लोग सर्विस दे रहे हैं।
Gowravam Foundations, besides working in close coordination with the teams of Telangana state government agencies that were overseeing the COVID-19 relief work, also worked with several NGOs and individuals.
Day in and day out, we saw so many of them walking across the streets because at that point of time, transportation was not allowed, trains were not available for them. And in real hot sun, when they were walking, we felt that we should provide them a nutritious and thirst quenching individual journey food packs, and that's how the idea of preparing this nutritious food pack emerged. And Akshay Patra gave us 1,000 to 2,000 rice and roti packs every day. And even Heartfulness Institute has come forward and supported us with 1,000 meals every day. We had made all this into a pack and handed over on the outer ring road at Mechel Road on the way to LB Nagar, and that's towards Orissa, and where labor were walking towards Andhra Pradesh to move into Orissa and West Bengal. Even Shamshabad area, we had provided these journey packs. We are glad that we could reach out to these migrant labor in a very small way.
For us at Gowravam Foundation, it was a deeply humbling and learning experience that left us with ennobling thoughts as we wound up the COVID-19 relief activities by June last week 2020. Having reached out to 51,467 migrant workers and their families and several other homeless persons and beggars. We at Gowravam Foundation are deeply grateful to the generous donors and committed volunteers for their unstinted support in our COVID-19 relief activities.
This gave us a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to serve people, all the immigrants going from Hyderabad to different places, Nagpur, Mumbai. We packed from the morning to afternoon, and then we carry the packets in the evening. We used to travel carrying the food packets in our hands and putting 250, 300 in a car, and then driving all the way from Gachibowli till late in the night, like 11 to 10:30, 11. In between, we used to find a lot of lorries and stuffed with people. We saw a couple, and then with the 3 kids, 2 to 4-year-old kids, carrying their bags and just walking on the highway, and there is no water for the kids, no food at all. So when we talked to them, I mean, it's very very sad situation. So what these people are facing. So not only one, I mean, we are distributing the packets, like 2,500 packets from our one NGO itself is like, you know, there's a lot of tens and thousands of people traveling every day. This is the best opportunity we got to serve people in a different way.
We started with 500 packets, then we went up to 2,500 a day. We were also putting all these packets in our cars and taking them and distributing to the workers. I got to see the kind of people who are receiving and how hungry they were, how distraught they were. They really are appreciating, and seeing them appreciating our food, and we felt like we should do more.
The Gowravam Foundation has been working to help immigrant workers during the COVID-19 pandemic. So every single day we're sitting together and we're teaming up to create packets. So my favorite part about the whole packaging system is the loading part, because we nicely form a line and everybody keeps passing the packets on, and it feels nice because everybody's like united. So we're so happy to do something that helps everybody during this tough time.
Like in the first couple days when I went to Mechel, a lot of them were walking, so we would stop them and we'd hand them over. And one thing that like really struck me was the honesty from these migrant workers. Like if they already had food, they'd say, no, it's okay, give it to someone else, we're fine. And that's something I never saw before, especially like knowing that they're walking all the way back to their hometown and they're saying, no, I can do without the food because I already have some. And the fact that they care about someone else, even though they're in a dire situation, it really put some perspective into my life.
So, ఈ కోవిడ్ క్రైసిస్ వల్ల the hardships which all the laborers are facing, అది not only in the press but in the TV, ఇవన్నీ చూసినాక ప్రాక్టికల్గా చూసినాక we felt that we should be supporting the government in this endeavor. So as a community we decided to do something, and then Sandhya came up with a brilliant idea that we can start giving them food packets, at least one meal a day, a nutritious meal. వాళ్ళకి అందుతే ఈ కష్టాల్లో we thought it will be very helpful. Every day we started gathering together. So in the last 2 weeks నుంచి constantly the entire community, all the women folk, all the men folk, everybody is doing their bit. So we've started distributing these packets, and when we saw the real need and when we saw the difficulties, we ourselves started getting motivated.
And I'm so grateful that we as a society got an opportunity to help the community. I went to distribute packets last 3-4 days, and I could really see the pain the immigrant workers are going through. It's a great initiative for Gowravam Foundation to do this at the time of need.
Yeah, working for this particular cause of packing foods for the migrants is really an opportunity. Being in this community, putting a hand is my opportunity, what I could do.
మేము అందరము మనస్ఫూర్తిగా వాళ్ళు పడుతున్న కష్టాలను టీవీలో చూసి వీళ్ళందరూ రకరకాల జనాలు బై రోడ్లో వెళ్తూ వాళ్ళు పిల్లలతో ప్యాకేజ్తో నడుచుకుంటూ ఎండలో పడుతున్నటువంటి కష్టాలను చూసి మేము చెలించిపోయి ఖచ్చితంగా వీళ్ళకి ఏదో రకమైన మనతో అయ్యేంత వరకు మనం వాళ్ళకి సహకరించాలి, ఏదో రకమైన ఒక ఫుడ్ ఇవ్వాలనే ఉద్దేశంతో అందరికీ మా వంతు సహకారం మేము చేసి ఉన్నాము.
I would like to specially mention about volunteers from Postal Department who worked tirelessly to prepare the grocery bags and also to get them distributed, especially staff from Hyderabad Sorting Division. Similarly, for the individual journey food packs, the Namaha community, Namaha Lakewood community has literally adopted Gowravam Foundation's initiative, and many of them on a daily basis, 10 to 20 of them from different families have come and worked tirelessly from morning 8-9 o'clock till late evening, packing and properly sorting and loading of the food packs, and even going on the highway taking 250 to 300 packs in their individual cars and distributing to migrant labor who are walking or on the trucks or waiting for some bus or train to take them. I'm extremely grateful. Gowravam Foundation would like to thank them for sparing so much time, effort, compassion and commitment to complete this task so beautifully and so thoughtfully. Above all, I'd like to thank Gowravam Foundation board members for their fantastic support, unquestioning authority that they gave to go ahead and do this compelling initiative of supporting the migrant labor in the most tough and hard times that they probably would have faced in recent times in their own personal lives. We're very, very grateful to all the donors and all the volunteers who have made it possible for us to work on this program.